Hi Taurus, welcome to a new era. My name is Emma. Taurus, this is your love reading for the upcoming 2 weeks, but I won't make another love reading during Christmas and New Year's. So think of it as, yes, it can be from the 9th of December till the 22nd of December, but it's also sort of, I have that in the back of my mind. So the message that I'm receiving, it's sort of somewhat towards the end of the year. Because then next week I will be focusing on overall 2020. So make sure you check in to see your 2020 reading for the upcoming year. Taurus, I just want to take the time to just mention on Thursday, the 12th of December, we have what I feel like it's in an alignment situation. It's a 12-12-12 day. It's the 12th. The day is the 12, it's the month is the 12, and 2019, the year like combined, it's the 12. So, and then, excuse me, some astrologers wants to talk about how we actually have 12 minutes past the hour. So it's like a quadruplet 12 going on. To me, it speaks about alignment. It's just pure alignment. And then on the same day, we have a full moon. And even on this very special day, we have, and this is in Gemini, we have Pluto, Saturn, and Venus coming together sort of in a conjunction, a triangular situation. And I always make fun of this. I always joke about so when something hasn't happened for 25 years, I'm like, this hasn't happened in 250 years. But now, apparently, this little situation actually has not happened for 500 years. And what it speaks to me about, when I'm no astrologer whatsoever, but when I feel into it and what it feels like, it's more of a tipping point. It's more like to hear, when something is on the way, on the verge to just tip over into something new. It is it's like you've added on and added on and added on and added on, and it doesn't feel like maybe you've done much, but you've done something small every day. If that's working on yourself, if that's working on your relationships, if that's working on building your self-confidence, whatever it is, then all of a sudden it just falls over into a different energy, a different frequency, a different dimension, a feeling of, wow, something has shifted. And it can be on a very internal place. It can also be like you see physical evidence of it. So let's see, Taurus, what specifically is going on for you, for your love, for the upcoming 2 to 4 weeks, let's say. And I should say the Venus part in there for the conjunction is all about healing emotions, healing old wounds, healing your relationships. It's also about abundance, financial gain. Oh my God, Taurus. So your first card out is speaking of a soulmate connection. So I get 2 stories. So one story is for your single Tauruses out there, and one is for you who actually has met you just actually have met your soulmate, your person. The unicorn, when it comes out, it talks to me about a soulmate connection. The unicorn and the peacock is usually what comes out to show me this is a soulmate coming in. And with this card, it just says, you're blending. It's like you can't see, and don't confuse the lady. It can also be for a man. It can be for a Taurus man. You don't see where this woman starts and the horse ends. So it's like a beautiful coming together. We found each other. There you are. Hello. And for you single people out there, you are so freaking close to this gorgeous relationship. And maybe this tipping point has, because I wanted to talk about it, it has something to do with it for the upcoming just cycle from the full moon to the full moon. So we are There's also an eclipse. There's an eclipse on the 26th of December that is of a somewhat relevant, I feel. And so just take this last month. Take this month before entering into 2020. It is feeling really beautiful. It's feeling light. It's feeling lighthearted. It feels like there's something that you've been waiting to hear. Some news. And I mean, if you've been waiting for a partner and they're here, that's news in itself. Okay? And for your single people, I feel like if you haven't met your person, it is so close to the end of the year, or it's at the very beginning of 2020, because here your soulmate is. So a soulmate is coming in, and this card shows, it might be that it's you because it's a Taurus, the Taurus card, but it's also like a Virgo. It can be another Taurus that you're meeting. It can be that they have very Taurus energy going. But it's also a Virgo here that you might be connecting with. It can be every other sign, but that comes up extra much. And then we move into the next card, which is the final thing, I feel. I'm seeing something. The card is called Letting Go. So for single people, I feel like it's a final little touch up. It's a final little touch of shift from within that needs to happen in order for this person to enter your life. And it's about maybe reminiscing, as you say that, maybe being a bit nostalgic about your past. If you're nostalgic in a way that it's good for you, if you're remembering things from your past that is really good for you, keep doing it, because the energy, the universe doesn't care whether you think about something that happened in the past that happens now, or you're thinking about what's going to happen in the future. When people say, no, I'm just telling you what happened in the past. Yeah, I get that you do that, only that doesn't serve you, because keep thinking about that, keep bringing that up, only will activate the same thing in your present moment. And people don't understand that it doesn't matter to the universe whether you're thinking about your past, your present, or your future. You're emanating this energy, and the energy is being responded to. So what I'm feeling with this card, and then I saw something else that I will talk about, is first of all, to stop thinking about your past if the past doesn't serve you anymore. To sort of do your very best to just be done with it. To just not think like. And I get it. I've been in certain situations where you just, it's such momentum in itself. It just keeps, it's like the thoughts are being thought for you. It's not like you're necessarily sitting down and think, where was it now again? The crappy things that I don't want to think about. Oh, there they are. I'm going to keep thinking about them now. It's like all of a sudden, they're just there. It's like, I wasn't thinking about that now. How is that it's there again? Because that's momentum. That's what law of attraction does to you. When you worked it up there, it's like an ongoing circus until you sort of then stop it and let go. I don't have to think about that right now. And just do your very best to just let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. And just continue to let it go until you sort of start to continue to feel a relief around it. And more relief and more relief and more relief. And all of a sudden, you picked up another momentum for good feeling thoughts. When you think about your past, you're not so attractive to the thoughts that keeps you in feeling like something went wrong, but rather something went right. And then you're starting to attract those kind of thoughts. That's what we want to get into. But then I saw this, it's like a roller coaster situation. And so it might just be that you have felt like, oh my God, the last, like, take this last decade, the roller coaster ride, not being all amusement park feels, well, it sucks if you're me. I don't want to get on any of those because I'll puke, literally. Sorry for being so blunt. But for this, it's like, yeah, it's been up and down and up and down and curveballs, and I didn't see that coming, and I was planning for this, and then it went, yeah, so there's definitely like a roller coaster ride, a roller coaster lifetime, the last decade, like that's from 1910. Wait, where are we? Just the past decade leading up to 2020 is what I'm trying to say here. So for the past 10 years, I feel it has been a roller coaster for you. But then there's something about, I want to say like the Mississippi River. I have no idea why. The Mississippi River with, is there a TV series or like a, there's something like with the old, I don't know if that's a steamboat. Is that even a thing? A steamboat? Where the big, like it's not a motor driven speedboat. It's like the really old fashioned boat that is just cruising the waters with these ginormous wheels in the back. That is like, do you know what I mean? Is there a TV show with that sort of boat? I'm not thinking about the Love Boat. I'm not thinking about like that you have in the Americas. A steamboat on the Mississippi River. I want to say like, I almost feel like Huckleberry Finn, like Huckleberry. I don't know what this is. There's something about like getting back to basics. Like there might even be that the guides want to show one Taurus out there that we hear you, we listen to you, and the Mississippi or the boat or something like that. It just makes sense to some. This is not for the general population. I do get that. But for the general population, I feel that there's something of significance to say, get back to basics. Like before we had a motor on the speedboat, before we had cars, we had like horse and wagon. I'm not trying to slow you down or to like, the olden days were better. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just saying there's something about when the wheels were just turning and the boat was just cruising along. It just went along with the river. It wasn't upsetting the river. It wasn't making ripples in the sense that a speedboat would. There's something about go back to the basics. Go back to the olden ways. Like just think of this relationship as a, why do I want this? Why look for this? Why have I just entered into this relationship? Because of love. You just want to feel, it starts to rain, I love it. You just want to feel love. You just want to love somebody, and you just want to have somebody to love you. And just focus on the basics, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense to somebody out there. And then we have my epiphany card. So this is a Phoenix rising. So it just shows what I was saying about the past decade, the past 10 years. It's just been a roller coaster ride, and you've been growing. Like the Phoenix rising is all about surviving, getting through it, coming out on the other side, feeling so much stronger for it. And so whatever sort of had you go through something, you're thriving now. You're out on the other side, and you might still feel like you're rising like a phoenix, but there's no ashes, there's no fire, there's no nothing. It's just my Phoenix rising dancing. So it's a lot about with the butterflies there, it's all about transformation, bringing something new into the world, like new thoughts, new ideas, new new belief systems. Just your overall outlook is different. And then we have on the other side, there's a lot of birds. She talks a lot about freedom. So I feel like for the first time, probably entering into this relationship, or when you're now waiting for this relationship, it is the first time that it feels really, because I feel that from the other card with the wheel and Mississippi River, that we're just going back to feeling really close to one another, just being kind, just for the first time maybe ever be really unconditional with each other, letting each other be completely who they are. And just yeah, like just watch. There might be some frogs coming out of your mouth, like you want so quickly. You sort of, if somebody's doing something, you might have like an olden way of responding to that, or comment on that, or have a reaction to it. And you might have that reaction because you are coming from something that you are letting go of, and this is the Phoenix rising, so you have come out of something. So if there is something of the olden ways of your, like how you expressed yourself, how you sort of let somebody in, it might be a bit of a default setting that you sort of have to watch over time. Just at the very beginning, when it feels very more vulnerable, more fragile, I guess. But at the same time, I feel like this is probably the strongest connection you've ever had, and so you won't feel so shakeable, if that makes sense. It feels safe, it feels secure, it feels calm, it feels cuddly, it feels warm and huggish, if that makes sense. Yeah, just want to apologize for the light. I've learned that it's the lights in this room that when a certain light comes from the outside to meet the lights in the room, it starts to flicker a bit in the video. So I'm sorry about that. So just a finishing off card here for Taurus. This is a beautiful reading. Your soulmate, if they haven't already arrived, they are here. They're in your life. If there's a little hiccup and they're not there yet, just let go of your past as much as you possibly can. Yeah, this is more focused on you. Yes, your person is there in the wings. They're looking in. Is he ready? Is she ready? Little birdies are there to show you the way, to guide you, to say, like a little bird whispers that they're on their way. Are you ready? And for some, I feel like you've already made the connection, because I feel like you're just completely. And this is probably not something that I would normally use the words around, because I somewhat don't agree with it myself, but it's not for me. So when you completely belong to somebody else, and my resistance is that you don't belong to anybody else as they don't belong to you. But this feels really nice. It feels really like so you worked on yourself. You continue to work on yourself. This is what I mean. Continue to draw attention to you and what you send out there and what you receive back and what you allow in and so forth. And you've filled your cup up to the brim here. So it's it's overflowing, which is really nice. And then we have this person in the wings here. I've lifted the veil. They're coming in. If they haven't already, they're here. And I feel for some of you guys, you already made that connection. It's like it's all you can think of. It's like if you just had a baby, you sort of you can do the dishes, you can make food, you can talk to other people, but you just have your baby constantly on your mind. They're just in your energy because of survival. Like you're supposed to tend to them. You're supposed to not forget about them. It's just wired that way in our DNA. I feel like you have the same connection to this person. It's like you're in each other's energy, and it feels darn yummy. Okay, I hope this helps and resonates with some of you guys out there, and I hope to see you back for your 2020 reading. It might not come on your usual day next Monday. It might actually be all on Friday. So don't be like, where is my reading? If I'm not able to put it up on the following Monday. But other than that, maybe you're closing into Christmas or whatever. So Merry Christmas to you guys. And I hope to see you back soon. Take care. Bye.